Welcome. I'd like to welcome you here in this workshop, NFTs for developers. I'm Sam. I'm CTO of Datum, and I'm going to have this workshop today for you. First of all, maybe some technical questions. I would like to ask you all to stay mute, ask questions in chat. Everything will be answered at the end of the session. Second of all, this workshop will be recorded. The recording will be available later this week for everyone to take a look one more time. And I think we can start. So welcome again. I'd like to introduce you all, tell you what we are going to talk about today. First of all, what is NFT, non-fungible tokens? Second of all, which blockchain can we use for dealing with NFTs? Then I will show you some live demo of working with NFTs with our platform, Tatum API. And the last part would be the questions and answers from the chat or from the community. So let's start right away. What is NFTs? NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, are special type of tokens which are available to create on multiple blockchains. I think the most popular one is Ethereum, and it stands for a unique token across the universe or across the world, identified with a special ID. This token in a real world can represent some rare thing, some collectible item. It could be music, it could be art, it could be sword in a computer game. It's something which is unique and you cannot change it for anything else. Last days or weeks, the NFTs are hot. There's quite a big hype around that. Everyone is building marketplaces. Everyone is talking about it. I think last week the NFT art was sold for $69 million. So it's super cool. And the goal of this workshop is to show you how easy it is to work with that, because for some developers it could be stressful or they don't know where to start. So I will show you what we can do. Before that, which blockchains can we use for NFTs or for working with these type of tokens? As I mentioned, the most popular one is Ethereum, but there are much more blockchains we can use. Usually it could be forks or of Ethereum or Ethereum compatible blockchains like Binance Smart Chain or Polygon or Celo or Flow or many more others. And today I'm going to show you how to work with Celo. It's a blockchain from top 100, and it's fast. It's quite cheap. It's like 60,000 cheaper than Ethereum, and it's 100 times faster. So for this demo and for the live purposes, it's great. And maybe we can just jump right to the demo. First of all, I would like to introduce you Datum and show you step by step what I'm gonna do. Datum is a tool for developers which allows to develop blockchain applications super fast for you. And for today's demo, we have to sign up to our dashboard and obtain API key. API key is used to communicate with Datum API, where we're gonna perform all the operations with NFTs. So if you want to sign up, there is a big button up here, sign up. When we want to create an account here, we can just use Google. So I will just sign in using Google, using my Gmail account. Okay. And welcome into our dashboard. The most important part here is to create an API key, which will be used to communicate with Datum API. So we can choose a free plan, which is free for developers. It's an unlimited number of requests or credits. The only limitation is 5 API calls per second, but for our purpose, it's just fine. So we will create a free plan. We can call it free NFT plan. And we will choose the testnet version of the blockchain because we don't want to pay for the real for the real blockchain, and we don't want to pay with the real crypto assets. So we just create an API key, and an API key is available here. We will copy it later. And just what we are going to do right now, we will jump to the Postman. The Postman is a tool for communicating with APIs, and I'm going to show you step by step how to work with NFTs. We will follow the guide, which is available from developer section of Datum, and the guide is placed in the blockchain section, how to create NFT tokens. We will follow step by step this guide. There's just 3 or 4 API calls we want to do. And first of all, there's available Postman collection to download, and you can import it inside your Postman locally. I already have done that. So I have a Postman collection ready. Is NFT workshop. There is, I think, 11 requests. And what we have to do right now, we will use Celo as a blockchain for building NFTs and communicating with that. What we have to do, as first, we need to generate a blockchain address and obtain testnet funds. Testnet funds are the fake crypto assets that are running on the testnet blockchain. You can see there are already predefined variables inside the Postman. Is the URL of the endpoint of the Tatum API, and in the authorization section there's a key. The key is the API key you have generated inside the dashboard, and we can set it inside our profile. You can work with that later. So right now, what I have to do is I have to copy my API key from the dashboard. I have to enter it here. I will also do it here. And the URL is API eu1.tatum.io. And right now we are good to go. We can generate a wallet for a Celo blockchain. And we have generated the mnemonic and the XPub. From the mnemonic, we'll generate the private key. From XPub, we'll generate the public address. Right now, we want to fund our public address with some testnet funds. So we will generate a specific address for my XPub. We will generate address number 1. We have generated an address, so we can fund our address inside the faucet. Faucet is a utility. Usually every blockchain has that to enter the blockchain testnet account, and you can obtain the free funds to start developing on the blockchain. I will send an address to the chat here, so everyone will be able to copy that. Awesome. Okay, I think there's some done. I hope we have funded our account. We can take a look at it inside the testnet explorer of the Celo, where we enter our address. Okay, I have to copy it one more time. Okay, we can see that we have 5 Celo available for testnet, and we have also 10 Celo dollar. Celo dollar is a stable coin which is running inside the Celo, so we can use it as well for paying for gas for transactions. Again, I will also send you the link to the Celo Explorer, and so we can play around together. Okay, so our account is funded. So we can start with the funny things right now. We can deploy the new NFT token. With NFTs, there are 2 steps from the start. First of all, you need to deploy the contract, the smart contract, which represents the NFT as such. And second of all, you need to mint every new token by ID one by one. So without the deploying the contract, there's going to be no tokens at all. For Tatum, we have an abstraction for working with NFTs for different blockchains. You just have to specify the specific chain you would like to work with. So we are working with Celo. And in the body part of the request, there are things like name of the NFT we are gonna create, the symbol. There's a fee currency that's Celo specific, so we will pay for the transaction with a stable coin, and there's a private key. From this private key, the transaction is invoked, and the fee for transaction is being debited. So we have funded our address number one. We need to obtain the private key for that address. So from the first call from generate wallet, we just copy the mnemonic, which is here, and we will use it inside the generate private key endpoint. So we will enter the mnemonic inside the body, and we will enter the index number one, which is the private key for the address. Okay, so I have private key available. Right now, I can deploy the NFT token. Sorry, copy again. Okay. Okay, so what is happening right now, that the pre-built smart contract we have inside our platform, which is available, it's standard ERC721 smart contract, is being deployed to the Celo blockchain, and the result is the ID of the transaction inside the Celo. We can take a look to the details of the transaction, because in the details of the transaction, there is the address of the contract which is being created inside the blockchain. So down there, this is the data of the smart contract. You can see it's quite huge. And we can see the contract address. So this is the address of the NFT token, which is available in the blockchain. And every other request we will gonna invoke right now is gonna communicate with this NFT token. So we have tokens ready. We can mint new specific items for this NFT. So we will issue the mint endpoint. As I mentioned, we need to enter the address of the smart contract. We need to enter the ID of the token we would like to mint. And we need to enter the recipient of the token, meaning when we mint the new token, the recipient will receive the token to his address. For the simplicity, I am gonna be the recipient. So I am the one who want to own this token. So I will enter my address on the blockchain. Token ID number one is okay. There can be 2, 3, 4, whatever, it doesn't matter. Again, the fee currency is Celo specific, and URL is the URL of the metadata connected to this token. By metadata, you can think of image, additional description, additional fields. Is up to you. It's a JSON scheme with the fields of your choice, and you are saying that this token number one has metadata here. We can use it here. This URL is useless. It's just for example. And we need to change the private key of the issuer account to the one we have generated because it's funded. So I'm gonna mint new token right now. It's token number one. Again, the response is the transaction ID. And right now we can take a look inside the Explorer to this transaction because it's nicer to see it visually here, what has happened. We can see that there were 3 transfers of the tokens, but this one is the one we are interested in. We have created token number one. We have sent it to my address, to my account. So right now I address D02 own the token number 1. So we have issued our new token. This token could be a sword, it could be music, it could be some painting, whatever of your choice. So we can mint the tokens as we like using this endpoint. It's very easy. And there comes a time when we want to transfer some of the tokens to someone else. So we will just use the transfer endpoint. Again, we just specify the chain we would like to work with, and we need to specify which token we are sending, to whom we are sending the token, the contract address of the NFT on the blockchain, and the private key should be the owner of the token. The owner, in our case, is me. Its address D0. So I will use my private key from mint call. I want to send it, let's say, to this address, and I need to change the contract address because we want to communicate with this one. So right now I'm sending my token. I have sell it. I'm sending it to someone else. And again, the result is the transaction ID, which we can check inside the Explorer again. And we will see that we have transferred the token number 1 from me to someone else. And there are other operations we can perform. We can burn the tokens. By burning, we mean we want to destroy this specific token. We don't want to have it in the blockchain, or we want to mint multiple tokens in one API call. We can specify here multiple recipients, multiple URLs of the metadata, multiple token IDs. When we will try to mint the same token, exact same token with the same token ID, which already exists, it's not possible because the token is already present on the blockchain. So we can see that the transaction has failed because the token is already there. So right now, what we can do also, we have created the tokens, we have transferred the tokens. We can also check who owns the tokens or which tokens are owned by whom. So there is again endpoint to obtain the list of tokens which are present on the one specific blockchain address. And I have transferred this token to this guy. So I want to see which token IDs owns this guy for this NFT token. We can see that he owns token ID 1. When I take a look to my address, it was my initial one where I minted the token, I will see the empty result. I have no tokens in my address. And the last very important thing is to obtain the metadata later on. So I want to see the URL of the metadata I have attached to the specific token with the token ID. So I need to again communicate with the correct smart contract on the blockchain. And here we are. We can see that the metadata associated with the token number 1 is this one. So to sum it up, we can see that in like 5 API calls, we were able to deploy new token. We're able to mint as much tokens as we want. We're able to transfer tokens to someone else. We were able to obtain the metadata for the token, and we're able to see the balances of the tokens for specific accounts. So that's it. That's pretty simple. And the most fun part is that when you change the chain to another chain which is supported by Tatum, you don't have to change the implementation logic inside the integrations to the blockchain. Right now, Datum supports Celo, Datum supports Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain will be supported early next week, and more and more blockchains are coming to our platform, so we will be able to work with that in a unique way, which is super. super great. So that's it, and we can jump to the questions from the community. I can see there are 13 questions. Oh, 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 oh. Okay, guys, I'll maybe start with the first questions here, and I will just continue to the later. How hard it is to add integrations for other blockchains? As I mentioned, for you, it's just the change of the chain inside the request. The integration is on our side, so for you, it's super easy. Can I transfer NFTs between blockchains? Natively no, but what you can do is that you can burn token in one blockchain, and you can mint the same token on another blockchain with the same ID, with the same parameters. And by this operation, you were just transferring the tokens between multiple chains. So that's again super easy. Does Tatum charge extra fees for burning minting? No. The only thing you are paying is the transaction to the blockchain, and that's it. There's nothing more than that. Do I have to run my own nodes with Tatum? No, you don't have to run your own nodes. Tatum runs the node for you. We have like not hundreds, tens of nodes for different blockchains, so it's super safe and easy for you. What if I need to scale quickly? Can Datum handle that? Yes, we are prepared for a scalability. You can start with a basic plan for 5 requests. Paid plans are for 100 requests per second, and our basic setup of infrastructure is more than 5,000 requests per second for one API key, but we can scale up to hundreds of thousands. It's not a problem. Does the free plan allow me to play around with NFT integrations? Yes, we have just played with the free API key, and you can do everything I've done right now. Datum's API is very simple. Is the functionality limited in any way? No, it's not limited. We have our abstraction, but we have also the raw or the most native integration to the blockchain. So when you want to do something directly on your own, you just go directly to the node. We provide the API for that. Are there any advantages to learning to code for Ethereum directly? Yes, there are advantages. You will just learn some new stuff, which is always cool. But it takes a lot of time. It's quite hard to learn Solidity. It's not easy language, and it takes a lot of time to handle that and not to do a lot of bugs and mistakes, which are crucial in the smart contract world. How are and where can metadata be stored to prevent it from being changed or lost? This is a good question. There are two things how metadata can be stored with NFTs. I have shown you the most easiest one, that you would just enter the URL to your system, which will serve the metadata. But it's not truly decentralized in a way that when you change the metadata content, the metadata will be changed. There's another option. You can mint the NFT tokens and store the data on chain inside the smart contract. So all of your data will be stored with the token forever on the blockchain. Okay, maybe we will find more questions. What NFT projects are you personally interested in? I like marketplaces. I took a look at NBA Top Shot, which is out like for a couple of weeks. It's very nice web. It's a marketplace for collectibles from the NBA, and it's really nice use case of how to integrate blockchain for common people, and they don't even know they are using blockchain. So it's really nice. Is there any security concerns by passing the private key in the API calls? This is a very good question, Calvin. We are using private keys for demo purposes because it's easier to just play around with these API calls with private keys. We have our own security libraries, which you can use locally from your server. You are signing transaction locally and just broadcasting it using our API, or you can use our key management system. Everything is available on our GitHub. I can again send the link here. Datum KMS, which is the key management system for signing transactions locally. Can you please talk about protecting the original and other editions created? You can always cipher the data or encrypt the data inside the blockchain, and the encryption key is the one which is transferred like in a non-digital way. You can send it or do it manually, and I think that's pretty much it. You can always encrypt the data there, so no one will be able to access it, or he will read it, but he will not understand what's there. Is it possible to implement state channel by using Tatum service? Okay, Indra, I truly don't know what you mean. We can stay after the workshop for other guys and we can talk one by one. I will unmute you and we can discuss. And when will be the next workshop? The next workshop will be next week, next Wednesday, the same time. And we are going to talk about how to build an crypto exchange, the custodial one, in 30 minutes. Again, integration into an API calls and your whole crypto exchange is up and live for you. Will Tatum support any ZK rollups or optimistic rollups? Calvin, yes, we are thinking a lot and taking a look a lot about zero knowledge protocol because it's very interesting and a lot of our customers are asking for these kind of features. So yes, it's in our roadmap. We hope by the end of this year there's going to be a lot of zero knowledge protocols. What about storage for artworks? As I mentioned, you can store the artwork on the chain. You can encrypt the data, and the artwork will be there forever, encrypted, and the owner will know the private key which encrypts the data. So you can store it there. Again, we can talk about it later one by one after the workshop ends. If there is no more questions, I would like to thank you all for your attention. I'm super happy that there was more than 30 people here, and I hope you will join us next Wednesday for next workshop and enjoy the rest of the day, guys.